The stage is the final table of a $200,000 buy-in tournament in Monte Carlo. Only 6 players remain. $5 million wait for the winner. On one side of the table is Mikita Badziakouski, one of the most prolific players in the world, who has flopped 2 pair. His opponent is an unknown figure, a mysterious older man who looks more like a wizard than a poker player. Confidently, the man bets $250,000. Mikita responds with a raise to $600,000, and the instant the chips hit the table, without hesitating a second, the man announces, "All in." Mikita calls instantly, not imagining what is about to happen. The old man reveals a king-9, just king high, with a gut-shot straight draw, and with curiosity almost innocent, he asks, "What percentage do I have?" The professional tries to explain honestly, around 20%, and then comes the answer, a single sentence that would become one of the most iconic in modern poker history.
Yeah, but I only have 100%, I don't have less. Maybe less I don't understand.
Before November 2024, the name Vladimir Korzinin meant absolutely nothing in the poker world. If you looked him up on the Hendon Mob, the poker tournament results database, you'd find nothing. But behind that blank page was a man who had lived an extraordinary life away from the felt. Vladimir Korzinin is a 70-year-old Estonian inventor, but not the typical inventor tinkering in a garage on weekends. He is a real inventor, with 3 patents registered in the United States. Some say he made his fortune in stock trading. Others whisper that he worked for NASA. The truth is that Vladimir has never confirmed any of it. He constantly turns down interviews, and when he does speak, it is often in riddles that leave everyone more confused than before. What we do know is this: he is wealthy enough to casually enter tournaments with 6-figure buy-ins. He splits his time between Estonia and Mexico, where locals say they see him playing $1 cash games with the same enthusiasm he brings to $250,000 events. And at some point around 2024, he decided to bring his mathematical skills to the high-stakes poker tables. His first recorded tournament result came in October 2024 at EPT Cyprus, a 3rd-place finish, in a $45,000 mystery bounty event. A respectable cash, but nothing compared to what would come later. The Triton Poker Series is where the ultra-elite of poker gather. It is not uncommon to see buy-ins that exceed the annual salary of most people. The $200,000 invitational event in Monte Carlo had a special format. Half the field consisted of professionals, the other half amateurs and VIPs with deep pockets and dreams of glory. The tournament format was simple. On day 1, amateurs played only against amateurs, and professionals played only against professionals. On day 2, the groups merged to finish the rest of the tournament. There were a total of 102 entries that accumulated a prize pool of more than $20 million. First place would take home more than $5 million. When the action was at its peak and cameras focused on Vladimir, commentators Brian Rast and Randy Liu couldn't help but notice this bearded gentleman, who seemed to have stepped out of a fantasy novel. Some called him Gandalf, others Dumbledore, until they finally found the perfect nickname for him: Gambledore. By the end of day 2, most of the amateurs had been eliminated, except one. Vladimir reached the 9-handed final table. Leading the way was Patrik Antonious, with 9.6 million. Behind him were Roman Hrabek, Mikita Badziakouski, and other notable professionals. And there, in 3rd place with 4.1 million, sat Vladimir Korzinin, the last amateur standing with 51 big blinds. With a smile and eyes shining, as if he knew something no one else did. The train wreck began almost immediately. Against Mikita Badziakouski, Vladimir found a king-9 in the cutoff. He opened to 250,000. Mikita defended his big blind with Jack-2 suited. What happened next turned into one of the most memorable moments of the tournament. With millions of chips in the middle and elimination on the line, Gambledore made a move that left everyone at the table stunned. And then he asked Mikita a question that would become legendary. But first, I want to show you something. You know how the best players at your local casino never really talk about where they play online? I always assumed that was ego. It's not. There's an entire layer of private poker that runs completely separately from everything you currently know. The action runs softer, the games run cleaner, and it's not hard to get into. It's just that nobody already inside has much reason to advertise it. The Poker Agent, not a platform. A team of veterans who've spent more years inside the private poker ecosystem than most sites you currently play on have even existed. They know exactly which clubs are worth your time at your stakes, which ones aren't. And they personally stand behind every player they place. Not a support ticket, a person, one conversation. You tell them what you play, they handle everything else. I'll be honest, I wish I'd found this earlier. The players already inside aren't talking about it much. Make of that what you will. Link is below.
Yeah, here we go. The King 9-0. Up it to 250,000.
Like seeing him opening it up now that he's overtaken Roman in the chip counts. Players can't really play back at him too much. Some thought given to his King 7 suited.
It's me.
Ah,
Vlad went to muck his hand. That's just reminding them, hey,
yeah. I can put more if you want.
that's his second shortest. Comes with defend. Let's see, 3 dealer. 6, 7, 5 out there. Vlad asking him to dance. Queen Jack deuce, bottom 2 for Mikita. Gut shot and King of Spades for Korzinin.
We can definitely dance on this board. King of Spades. Got shot 1 over to the board.
Bats is just praying that Korzinin bets out at this.
250.
There it is. 250 into 675. Is this a fast play kind of spot here for Mikita?
You have more reasons to fast play with bottom 2 because you're unblocking top pair, which can get it in with you. Now he is very shallow in the sense that maybe chips can still fly in on turns and rivers.
So much value to be had by just picking up the money that's already out there. He goes to 600, committing a third of his stack.
All in.
Oh my word!
Snap jam. Here we go. 4 million chip pot. Misstep from Korzinin.
Beating him to the pot. I mean, we didn't even have the chance to announce Mikita's jam. Sorry, raise rather. Before Korzinin had set all in.
No, you have less.
Less?
Yes.
No,
20 something.
I don't have. I only have 100%. I don't have less. Maybe a little less. I don't understand.
Vlad says he has 100%.
Oh my gosh. Sick.
Which he's now 1 card away from.
No, 30, no, 40.
What a disgusting beat.
No. When you know, you know.
It's Mikita Badziakouski, the 5-time champion.
The commentators were stunned. Then came one of the strangest hands in Triton history. Vladimir from the cutoff calls the 200,000 big blind with ace-6 offsuit. Former world champion Espen Jurstad and legend Patrik Antonius join in. The flop falls 9-7-5. Both players check and the action reaches the amateur, who bets 300,000. Only Patrik decides to continue, calling with a straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. The turn brings the 10 of spades. Patrik checks again to Gambledore, and this is where the hand starts to take a rather bizarre turn.
Should I be greedy or I should be polite to my master? I will polite.
What you feel?
I will be polite to my master.
So it checked through. Korzinin will win at showdown. Does Patrik, given what he's seen, think that Vlad's ever folding a pair here? And if so, does that mean he's just going to wave the white flag and give the Estonian a free showdown? No, just comes cheap.
300. This is going to shake out some random high cards better than queen high. And this is a difficult call to make for Korzinin. Look at that board. Your opponent check called you in a flop. There's not many bluffs, but queen 8 suited is one of them.
If he flicks in the call here, Randy.
When you have birthday? Which month?
December.
December? Okay, then I will present to you.
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
What?
it's not today. It's not today my birthday.
No?
The rest of the table and the commentators could not contain their laughter. What was happening in this tournament was not the boring poker we are used to. This was something else entirely. This was magic. But Vladimir was not done yet. The next hand began with Antonius opening from the cutoff, with ace-queen to 400,000. Vladimir was on the button with ace-9 of clubs and makes a 3-bet to 1.2 million. Antonius was already fed up with this guy and shoves all in. Gambledore looks at his cards again and practically calls instantly, completely dominated. The flop fell 5-7-4, and things were not looking good for him at all. The turn, another 4. Antonius had an 80% chance of winning the pot, and even so, Gambledore looks at him and says something.
Now magic happens.
And now the magic happens. According to Korzinin, 705 for a chop. There it is.
Did he just script that?
Wow.
At that point, it no longer even seemed like this man was getting lucky. It felt like he knew something that the others clearly did not. Hand after hand, Vladimir's unconventional approach tilted the professionals. He 3-bet with marginal hands like Queen-Jack and 9-5 suited, forcing folds from players who feared his aggression, until the next victim arrived. A few hands later, Vladimir opens with ace-2 to 650,000, and in the big blind, the man who won the main event a few years ago defends with jack-7 of hearts. The flop falls ace-6-10 with 2 hearts. Gambledore hits top pair and bets the size of the pot, 1.5 million. Yerstad responds by shoving all in with his flush draw. Vladimir is not here to fold and calls immediately, putting the world champ at risk. The turn is the 10 of spades. Yerstad needs a heart to stay alive, but it doesn't come. He is eliminated, and Gambledore becomes the chip leader heads up against legend Patrik Antonius. By the time they reached heads up, Vladimir faced Patrik Antonius with a chip advantage of 18.2 million against 12.4 million. They go on a brief break, and from there, everything gets even more insane. Gambledore returns to the main stage, accompanied by a short man dressed as an elf. The show was on, and they return to the action. Patrik begins to wear Vladimir down, taking several small and medium pots, and recovers the lead, doubling his stack completely. A little later, Gambledore has dropped to 8.1 million chips. He is dealt 8-4 suited and calls. Patrik checks, and both players make bottom pair on a flop of Jack 9-4.
Jack 9-4, both players connecting with bottom pair.
Fake bet.
Check, check brings us to a very pretty turn if you're Patrik. Picking up the club draw.
Uh, 1.5.
Second check in front of him, and now Vladimir decides he wants to get chips forward. 1.5 million.
Yeah, Patrik should feel real comfortable calling this now that he has queen high flush draw to go along with his bottom pair, or flop bottom pair.
All in.
Oh, wow.
Checking and jamming is Antonius, looking to clear a lot of what might be beating him.
Finish here. Go.
Oh my goodness, Korzinin has just decided to call.
Kind of things. You call, yeah?
Oh, I have only 4.
4 also.
Ooh.
This
Well, he
was,
said he has to finish here.
I mean, and he rates to do exactly that.
And I mean, he does have 2 outs, but that's pretty grim.
And it's all over. As the queen kicker plays in spite of the board pairing.
Vladimir Korzinin finished second for $3.47 million. For most players, this would be a life-changing story, a fairy tale with a bittersweet ending. But for Gambledore, this was just the beginning. 2 days later, Vladimir entered the $150,000 no-limit hold'em event. This time, there were no amateurs, no VIPs, just 121 of the best players in the world. The field included Phil Ivey, Bryn Kenney, Fedor Holtz, Adrian Mateos, and Stephen Chidwick, a group of sharks who combined had won hundreds of millions of dollars in tournaments. And Vladimir, with his wizard's beard and shining eyes, sat among them as if he belonged there. This hand begins with 33 players remaining in the tournament. Santa opens a mysterious hand from the hijack. The small blind calls and the big blind completes as well. 3 players go to the flop, which comes out 10 high. Both players check. Vladimir bets a third of the pot. Punsri calls with top pair, and now they are heads up. The turn pairs the board with the 3 of spades. Punsri checks again, and Gambledore fires 105,000 chips. Punsri calls again, and they go to the river, which falls the 6 of clubs, completing the flush. Punsri checks for the 3rd time. With no plans to stop, Gambledore shoves all in. Punsri absolutely hates this situation. He obviously loses to any overpair, ace-10, and Vladimir could also have hands like 4-5. So after thinking it over, he decides to fold, and Gambledore starts laughing. He had king-queen offsuit. He didn't even have a club. A pretty crazy bluff. Vladimir continued navigating the tournament with that same fearless style of play, until once again he reached the final table of a Triton Series high roller, in which, interestingly, the controversial Aussie Katola was also present. Vladimir starts the final table with a stack around the average. In this first hand, he opens Queen 10 suited from early position. Everyone folds to the big blind, who decides to defend. The flop falls ace 9-5. Boivin checks and Vladimir checks as well. What falls next is the biggest action card in the whole deck.
Kicks it off with the check back. He does find a spade draw as the sopping wet 5 on the turn gives Boivin trips, and he doesn't have this one sewn up.
He doesn't, but this is an amazing turn card for him now that he can beat some ace X's, maybe some pairs that check back the flop. It's just a matter of going for value, trying to get as many chips as you can. When you defend a hand like this, he's gone meaty. It feels like the main fear for Korzinin is the 5x. With the sizing. He kind of blocks some of the best ace-x in terms of kickers. Oh my god.
This is bananas. I mean,
crazy.
Boivin has way too much hand to
Calls.
step away. He does make the call. All of a sudden, we got a 4.5 million chip pot as Korzinin pressed. And this is one that Thomas has got to sweat out.
He's in heavy favorite here.
6th in chips, 3 shorter stacks than his own out there coming into this one. Don't need to tell you who the rest of the table is rooting for. It's just economics and all of the chat as well, and the spade rolls in.
No. GG.
A spade. It's as if Gambledore had played out all the probabilities, seen all the multiverses, and the players at the table can only acknowledge what is happening, and Aussie Katola himself says something to him.
That was a nice spell.
Then came Sam Greenwood, still with a mountain of chips, but now in 2nd position, who found himself on a flop of 10-4-2 with 2 clubs. Sam had ace-5 of clubs, a massive straight and flush draw. Vladimir had a pair of queens and bets, 750,000. Greenwood in 2nd place and surrounded by shorter stacks, did something surprising for a player of his caliber.
There's 200K in pay jump, and you're really going to make us do this?
Well, Sam doesn't want to bust right now. He's going to check call, pray and hit the club or a 3. Just hope that Korzinin keeps betting. Oh, he actually checked jams. We're going to play a massive one, aren't we? I'm shocked that he's jamming the spot.
What on earth has just happened?
This is number 2 and number 1 in chips.
Normally, it is Korzinin who takes these extremely uncomfortable positions and sticks them on people. Here, Greenwood. Carpe diem.
This is now uncomfortable for Korzinin realizing how big this pot could be.
He said, doesn't matter, call. 9.1 million chip pot. You see the eyebrows raised on Dan Smith immediately comes up from behind the sunglasses to observe what has prompted this violence. And now the revelation that the overpair and the massive chunk of equity that gives Greenwood a 4% edge is that which is responsible.
How you feeling on this one, Santa?
No, I don't have percentage, I only have 100%.
100%, okay.
He's called this shot before. Here comes the turn. It is the 8 of hearts, and now all of a sudden the pendulum swings heavily back in favor of Vladimir. Can Greenwood keep his seat? No, he cannot. And that is an exit that is going to leave both Greenwood, the chat we hear in the booth, and all of the Salé des Toiles breathless.
Sam Greenwood, one of the best tournament players in the world, was eliminated in 8th place. Gambledore now had a dominant chip lead. Of course, he was going to put those new chips to work almost immediately. Then came Dan Smith. Vladimir opened from the hijack with Queen 6 of hearts. Smith defended his big blind with Jack 10. The flop came Jack 10 Queen. Smith had bottom 2 pair. Vladimir had top pair and bet 550,000. Smith responded with an all-in instantly. Gambledore calls, and at that moment, everyone at the table already knew what was coming.
Korzinin calls. Smith proudly furnishes bottom 2.
Beautiful, I love you, Pat.
Now, you know, it's funny because when you hear Vladimir say that, you're not sure if he loves it because he's got you roasted.
Life gave you a present. Yeah.
Not yet. Oh my
You
goodness.
just don't fucking win after that.
This is bananas. Smith poised to be the most recent victim, unless he can find a Jack or 10, which he can't.
This was Gambledore's world. Everyone else was just living in it. Stephen Chidwick went out in 5th a few hands later, and suddenly there were 4. The pay jumps got bigger and the tension increased, except for Vladimir, who seemed to have no concept of ICM pressure whatsoever. And then a clash of characters. Vladimir has ace-king of diamonds and Katola a pair of queens. After an exchange of raises, both go all in for a pot of 12 million. The flop falls 5-4-6, safe for Katola. The turn is a 5 of diamonds. Gambledore needs an ace or a king, and the river is an 8. Aussie Katola doubles his chips and becomes the chip leader. An hour later, Vladimir finds himself 3rd in chips with barely 6 million, until he opens King-Queen of clubs pre-flop. Bryn Kenney, the short stack, shoves all in with a pair of 6s. Gambledore makes the easy call, and the action heats up.
To the flop we go, and it's 2 clubs on board. This is sweaty. 6s, puckering. A dog with 2 to come. And now back to a favorite. Just look at the sheer volume of outstow for Korzinin. King, queen, club, all spoils the party, and there's the club. Which
There you
comes
go.
down onto Sensei Kenney.
A few hands later, Fedor Holtz is eliminated in 3rd place, and so we have the most improbable heads up. 2 non-professional players fighting for the title. Aussie the Monarch, Katola, against Vladimir Gambledore, Korzinin. This event could not be any stranger. They take a brief break to enjoy cookies and milk brought by the elves, and then the action resumes. In the first hand, Korzinin limps and Katola checks. On a flop of Queen 5-8, Aussie bets 450,000 with a gut shot straight draw, and Vladimir with bottom pair calls. The turn is a 4 of spades. This time, Aussie bets 600,000. And his opponent, calmly eating a Kit Kat, says, "Let's make it quick," and shoves all in. Aussie, without many options, folds. Up until this point, we had seen him play mainly premium or decent hands, but in the next hand he finds his moment, 7-2 of spades. He had lost some pots and dropped to around 13 big blinds. For most, it would be an obvious fold, but for Gambledore, it is enough to go all in. Katola, in the big blind and with the chip lead, receives King 9 and makes the call for the title. And this is when the real magic happens.
Oh, I respect that. It's yours. Yours for sure.
Aussie saying that
I put it out of,
There's no doubt.
I know you favor.
Vladimir is all but guaranteed to win with this 7 deuce suited. Let's see how the poker gods feel about this pursuit of glory out of the Estonian as out of left field, 11 million enters the middle. King high digging in. A little yoga from Vladimir. Trying to stretch into the lead, and how about that for an exciting board texture? 4, 5, 6, 2 spades, open ender. Can't ask for much more.
Korzinin's the favorite.
68% in fact with 2 to come, but now the 9 on the turn, and that drops to 34%. Still plenty of paths to a double and the reset button for the Estonian. Will Santa keep his seat? Yes. 3 on the river, and he looks surprised.
I was going to give you a hug.
Not yet. We hug later.
Aussie cannot believe it. The stacks are now even when they reach this hand. Vladimir calls with 10-6 of clubs, and Aussie with Queen-6 checks to see the flop. Queen-Jack-10. Both players connect with a pair. Monarch checks. Gambledore bets 500,000 and receives the call. The turn is a 7 of clubs. Aussie checks again, and even before the camera reaches him, Vladimir fires an overbet all-in with his pair plus flush draw. As quickly as the all-in comes, Katola tosses a chip to the center, signaling the call, and this is it. The winner of this pot will win the tournament.
Tournament-defining moment.
Maybe it will be final.
Aussie on his feet. Could victory be his? Korzinin does have the covering stack. 23 million. This is effectively for the tournament. Oh, and the club finds the river.
Korzinin does it.
Gambledore has emerged victorious as Aussie looks stunned.
I can't believe he's done it.
Is he? Is he just walking off?
Freedom.
Everybody fell in love with Vladimir here at this festival. There was numerous nicknames, Santa, Gambledore, you know. And he didn't do a winner's interview. We tried to grab him on multiple occasions here at this festival. What he did do, however, Henry, is he left us with, I don't know if we can get a shot of this. I hope we can. It says, "The secrets of poker success." And it reads as follows. "You cannot lose if you do not want to win and be better than everybody else.